araw na pagsamba na ito. So the topic was given to me is about health. So it's about HIV awareness and AIDS. But I will not focus on that one, the AIDS and HIV. I will not deep dive into that topic because I'm not a medical practitioner. But let's talk about more on health, and maybe later let's see what would be the guidance that our church, that our pastors, our leaders is teaching us to avoid this kind of sickness. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I will start with the current challenges that we have today. You know, this crisis that we have, the virus that is everywhere around the world. So it's really limited our actions, our movements, right? It's really typical. Some people lose their jobs, students are struggling doing their modules, online studies, this is the impact because people tend to ignore, or maybe we have done something wrong related to our health, uh, how we maintain the health, or the cleanliness, or the sanity of our world, of our place. So yeah, that's why we are in this very difficult situation right now. So we are very lucky because as a Seventh-day Adventist, we've been trained, we've been told, we've been practiced to really aligned with these health practices that would really help us maintain good condition physically, mentally, and of course spiritually. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for our leaders, our teachers that who is always reminding us and teaching us. So even fellowship today really is difficult, right? Because here in the Philippines today, although we are allowed to conduct a service, but it's really limited. We need to follow the protocols of the government, the social distancing, the wearing of face masks, and also the age bracket that can go to the church, that can attend to the church. So it's a challenge because if you are a family man and you have young children, then how can you go to the church if you don't have anyone who can take care of them? And of course, you don't want to leave your child at home alone, right? So that's the challenge. How? But we are already in this situation, and we cannot do anything today. But instead, we just need to pray to the Lord that maybe we can find a solution, that He will give the solution. We know we cannot do it on our own understanding, but God can give us the wisdom, can give the people, can send people who can help us, maybe provide a cure, or a medication, or a treatment for this sickness. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are very lucky that ever since, or as we have joined this belief as an Adventist, we have been teach a basic health principles. It's very common. The NEWSTART. So I know everybody is aware this NEWSTART. So I think if we would really follow these principles in our life, it's really helpful to us, and we can really rely on this one. And for sure, we will not. If maybe we will be sick, but it will not be that serious. Maybe minor sickness is okay, right? But the major ones, the critical sickness, we can avoid if we just follow these really basic and simple principles that have been teach to us, have been communicated to us by our leaders, or by our pastors. New starts, maybe just quickly refresh what is in the new start. So we have this nutrition. We should be taking care of our the way we eat, our diet. We should choose those healthy foods, or yes, that is very important for us. So you know it is worth really taking care of our body. Especially the diet. There's a lot of delicious foods everywhere, but we should be mindful of our diet, that it will not really uh, detriment to the detriment of our health. So yeah. And next one is the exercise. It's very important. We should be maybe walking not every day, maybe once in a while during weekend if we have time, doing jogging. So that would really help. Even at home we can do some exercise this time. Push-ups for the boys, maybe set-ups for our women. There's a lot of exercise that we can do. We should not be prohibiting ourselves. Why we should limit ourselves in doing this? We should be sweating, okay, so that our blood circulation will be in good condition. So sunshine, yeah. I don't know how's your situation out there, if you can go out, but if there's a possibility to go out to receive some light, then let's do it. Maybe in the window, if we have windows in our home, in the morning we can really uh, try to be at least exposed to the sun. It could really help us you know kill some germs or bacteria in our body. By this sunlight is very effective. Temperance, yeah, temperance in everything we do, in taking the foods, the drinks that we're doing. So we should limit ourselves. We should, as what they say, drink moderately, eat moderately, and everything. Right? Everything too much is dangerous. So please, let's remember these very basic principles. And air, air is everywhere, but the question is, what kind of air do we have right now? So pressed air is really important. So that's why going to the nature sometime maybe is worth. The people in the province is very lucky because they have very pressed air in there. So, but for our case, if we're living in the city, then maybe once in a while, if we can go out, go to the nature, go hiking and everything like that, something like that, then it would really benefit ourselves. And then rest is very important as well. So it's very critical for us today, because everybody wants to work, everybody wants to make use every moment, every time that we have, right? It's working, and sometimes we want to enjoy life. We want to travel, go to places. So we tend to forget that rest is important for us, and it's part of us, of why we're created, right? That's the reason why we have this day and night. God divided the day, or the 24 hours day, into a night and day, because the night is really meant for us to rest, to sleep, to stop doing anything, and help our body refresh, or re- relieve or heal from any damage that we have done during our workday. So rest is really, don't forget, my dear brethren, is very important. And lastly, another T in the new starts is trust in the divine power. So this is very important. We should not forget this one, that trusting God is, I think, should be the most important thing that we should not forget, because why would we trust God? It's very a simple question, that we know that He is the one who created us. He is the one who gave us our life. So it's really important to trust our Creator, right? If you create something, You know how to take care of that. You know how to preserve it, how to maintain it. So God knows what we are, who we are. So He knows how to keep us in good health, in good condition, and the instruction, the guidelines, the principles he has told us, he has given us through his word. So it's very important that we learn, we should study the words of God. So yeah, today, this morning, I'll give you some maybe a few texts in the Bible that would really help us take care of ourselves, would really help us become healthy and would not be infected by this virus. We should not be afraid of this if we'll just follow the principles of the Bible, the principles that God has been teaching us. Then, for sure, He will protect us, and this sickness will not come to us. Okay, so if you have your Bible with you, please open it in the First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. So here, I just want to remind everyone that the Lord has told us that whatever we do, whatever we eat, or whatever we drink, or whether we eat, whether we drink, or whatever you do, we should do it for the glory of the Lord. And we know what would glorify the Lord, right? Uh, God has been teaching us what He is or who He is, and what character we should be. He has been a good example unto us. So He knows. Jesus has been really obedient to the one that sent Him, and He is really following, or He is really obeying. He is really just doing what God has told Him to do. So same with us. Jesus is our example, so we should do it, and we should do the same thing. And okay, the next text I am going to share with you is in the Colossians chapter 3, verse 5 to 6. So this one is really talking about our earthly nature, because although we are created by God, because we have sinned, because of the mistakes that our early parents have done, that's why we are in this situation. We are in very typical situation that we are suffering from sickness, from pain, everything. Life is become very has become very difficult for us. So here is a reminder from Paul that this is our earthly nature. So what is our earthly nature? That he said we should put to death. So meaning, if we put to death, then it means we will stop. We will not be doing it anymore. It should not exist anymore in our life. And so this is very important. That we should really we should really understand. We should really accept this message of Paul that our nature, early nature, is something like this. Maybe today or maybe before. So I don't know, but it's true. Even we are already a believers of Christ, but we still have this tendency to become an earthly nature. So the first one here really is sexual immorality. So yeah, because of the influence, because of what the world is happening today, everything we can see, we can hear, people are doing it. People are thinking maybe it's okay, it's acceptable, but God tells us that sex is not really something we should abuse. We should just do it whenever we want, whenever we like. So there is guidelines. God give this as a gift to the humankind. So but we should not abuse this. There is a guideline that only those people that are within the marriage, you know, are allowed or are given this opportunity or uh, this gift to enjoy. But those that are outside of marriage is really prohibited. It's not allowed. It's against the will of our God. It's something that we should not do. So you know, because of this doings, because of these activities that people ignore, that people abuse, that people promotes, you know, it's very sad that it seems everywhere this you know immorality is promoted. So that's why, you know, just like the sickness, just like the coronavirus today, we don't have a cure. We have this sickness as well, the, you know, the HIV, which causes AIDS. It's really a dangerous now. People, we don't die immediately, but there's no cure, right? You're suffering from this one, and there's a lot of people who are infected as of today. I think more or less it's about 30 million infected worldwide, so that's a lot. 38 million, wow. And people are I don't know what's the feeling of being having this sickness, but the fact that you have this sickness, people may avoid you, or people, you will be discriminated, right? If somebody knows that you have this sickness, of course, because we will be afraid. So this is the consequence, you know, because consequence of the mistakes, one of the consequence of the sin, or the you know, the immorality that peoples are doing, you know, the number one reason why we have this why people have been infected by disease is, you know, the sexual activity, you know. So that's why it's not encouraged, it's not the plan of God to do these things whenever you want, to whoever you like. So we should be careful, because this is a consequence. Every mistakes, every sin that we can commit, there's a consequence. We know God will forgive us. God loves us so much that he even gave his life to save us. But the consequence will always be there. We will receive the consequence. God is true to his word whenever he says that if you commit mistake, if you sin, just like what he has told to our parents, that if they will disobey, then they will die. So for us also, we will have this consequence. Maybe we will not die today, but gradually, yeah, the feeling that we know inside, deep inside, that we have sickness, then that's more even painful, right? So to avoid, we should really just follow what God has told us. So I know, and we know that God is the one who knows what is good for us. So as I mentioned in our basic principles, we should just trust him. We should do whatever he said. If he said that we should avoid doing these things, and we should only do this within his guidelines, then just follow it. And if we're doing it today, stop it and just do as God say. Just obey God. Just choose someone and marry him or marry her. Then we can enjoy this gift that God is telling us, just is giving us. So be careful, every one of us. We should we should we should avoid these things. We should you know, change ourselves, you know. Next text that I will give you is the Romans chapter 12 verse 2. So it says here that the, we should not conform to the world. If I'm read, it says that do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind, for you then you will be made to test and approve what's God's will in His good, pleasing, and perfect will. So, if the world is doing it today, it doesn't mean that it's good, that is acceptable by God. It means we're doing okay, we're doing right thing because everybody is doing it. All people is doing it. It's not that. That's why God really reminded us that we should not conform to the world because the world may be wrong. So why we will do things that are not right? Why we don't do research, or why we don't follow what is our basic principles, have been what has been taught to us, what have been preached to us, what have been communicated to us. People have experienced all these things already. People in the past, our leaders, our people that are that have studied all these things. They know what is right. We don't need to experience it to be able to learn. We just need to follow. We just need to trust in God. His words is with us, and everything is already there. It's already written. God is away from us today. He is working in heaven, but His words is with us, and we just really need to follow. I know every one of us, we have already we have already heard all the sermons, maybe all kinds of sermons, all messages, everything we already have heard. We have listened to it. We know it already, but the sad thing is, people is forgetful. We are forgetful. We don't remember things, or we ignore things. So that's why the word is there, so that we can be reminded. We should study it, and we should trust in the Lord. If He says it's not good for you, it's not really good for us. And we can have this sickness, we can have these difficulties, we can have these trials, we can have these challenges in our life if we disobey God. God told the Israelites that just obey, just have faith in me, just trust in me, and you will be good. You will succeed. You will have abundance. You will conquer your enemies. So, but Israelites, because of wickedness, because of being comfortable. If we are in good condition, we become comfortable. We become maybe boastful that we're okay. I don't need anything, so we forget. But the good thing here is there is the word, and there's a lot of we have this our leaders who keep on reminding us. So, my dear brethren, this morning we should be really taking care of our health. We should be and by doing that, and to do that, is to obey the Lord, to trust in Him, to trust His word. So when He says, do not conform to this world, please, let's examine every actions, every words, every activities, what the world is doing. Examine it. Is it aligned? Is it okay? Or is it approved by God? If not, then we should stop it. We should not do it. To save us from pain, to save us from suffering, to save us from sickness, especially, we have our families, our loved ones, our children, they will also suffer if our health is in danger, if our health is sacrificed or is compromised. So please listen to God. Listen to His word, that we should conform to whatever things He have said. So, my dear brethren, thank you so much, and I hope and I pray that the Holy Spirit of the Lord will always remind us. He's always there.